The world premiere of the all-new Kia Rio. That is today in Autogefühl, your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. We're going to take an exclusive first look even before the Paris Motor Show appearance of this car, small car segment, and we'll take the detailed look on the exterior and of course in the interior and tell you everything you need to know about this all-new generation. Let's go. Starting with the updated front, in general they tried to create a more dynamic appearance, also with bigger air intakes in the lower area. But very interesting to see, this is not an electric or hybrid car. You know, we'll see what the future brings, but so far it also has this kind of electric layout in the front. Here with not, for example, a comp grille, but a closed one like we've seen in many electric or hybrid vehicles. That's very interesting, definitely. Also, the headlights are drawn more horizontally and there's a more stringent design, definitely. The hood, you can see it right here. It has a gap right there, and that is for insurance reasons, because if you would continue it all to the front, then in minor crashes you would have to replace the whole hood. And this solution here may not look that well design-wise, but it saves insurance costs for sure. And this vehicle, of course, is very important for Kia. Last year, in 2015, 470,000 vehicles were sold worldwide. And that means it's the most important segment for Kia worldwide at the moment. What about the side profile? 4 meters 07 or 13'3" is the total length of this vehicle now. It's become a little bit longer, and especially there's a longer wheelbase now to offer more space on the inside. And you can always see very well in the side profile, there's a longer front overhang, and that together with the longer hood makes the sportier appearance again. So that's, you know, the scheme that is carried out through over the car. Here we got those optional 17-inch rims. You won't get that from a standard equipment. Those ones, again, the cars that have been shown to us with a lot of equipment always, but here in an attractive two-color scheme with summer tires at the moment. If we continue on to the side profile, my colleague is getting out, you see this one will be the keyless entry function if you press it right here. And then further onto the side profile, there's just a small design line right here to give a little bit contrast of light and shadow. Not too strong shoulders, just a little bit here. You see that the dropping line is followed out there. But overall, it's a rather classic setup for a small car. Also in the rear you see the sportier appearance. The car has become just a few millimeters wider, and you can also see it has a flatter and wider appearance that makes again this sportier stance, also with those accentuated, well, it's not a real wing, but it forms a kind of wing here in the rear. You can already see the rear view camera that will optionally be available, and those taillights in a new signature form. Very interesting, haven't seen that form from them so far. Contrast here in the black at the lower part. It's not, you know, especially in the rear, not a very daring design, but the small car segment, of course, you also have to look at the worldwide customer group, and they don't expect too many surprises. Let's get inside. First of all, door closing sound. Well, we have heard solider ones, but pretty okay. Then inside of the doors, simple material is used, but that's also standard in the small car segment. Of course, this car shouldn't be too expensive. Storage spaces, here you can also have some space for bigger bottles, right there. And then if we take the first look inside, this is a new cockpit. It's cleaner, less buttons, more functions have gone into the infotainment screen. We'll soon talk more about the infotainment as well. And seat-wise, there are very interesting options available. The car usually starts with cloth seats. And then optionally, you can also get some leatherette options, for example. It's always hard to tell really what it is. And this one here could be one of the leatherette options. I'm not exactly sure yet. Then let's get inside. At the moment here, it's not really suitable for my size. I first have to go back. So we have someone there, is okay. And I also have an, I think, Italian journalist next to me. So let's find a, there he can move the steering wheel up and down, also towards you. It's a really sporty steering wheel, quite compact. It rather feels like in a sports car. Here you can move the seat up and down like this. And you can also control the backrest of the seat. And I think, yeah, maybe a little in the front. I'm 1 m 86 or 6'1", and well, with the panoramic roof that is mounted here, it gets rather close. It still works, but I think 1 m 90 is the maximum for this vehicle. Other than that, it's also a standard seating position. The seats offer enough space as for the width. No question about that, and soon will also be very interesting how it will perform in the rear. Again, look at the steering wheel here for you. Like this silver contrast here. Also we got in the lower area with the footpacks, sporty footpacks. This one here is a manual version right now. The instruments will be classic right and left, and in the middle part we have the digital screen where you can also see the consumption, for example. Then the cockpit overview. This is really way different than in the previous generation. See here horizontal layout here as well. And the screen that has been, let's say, half integrated, a little bit stepping out there. It's a new 8-inch screen. Unfortunately, the key is not mounted in here, it's not on yet. But we can already tell you so far the infotainment screen has been updated. You see the buttons here with the hotkeys are still on the right side. Everything else will be mostly done with a touch, but you can also zoom in the map here and there. Then the AC unit will be right here. Also very good to reach. I like the quality of the buttons here in the lower part, for example. If we go lower, 2 storage spaces right there, USB port, 12-volt power supply. And in the high-level versions, you will even have a heated steering wheel in the small car segment. That's really rare, and I really like that. And also heated seats, 3-level for both sides. Of course, again, optionally. This is the manual transmission here right now. We used also from a good quality from Kia. When shifting, smooth transitions will be possible. The glove box here slides down smoothly and offers reasonable space. 2 beverages holders, they are not adaptive, pretty simple, one smaller, one bigger one. Standard handbrake. Then here, let's check the build quality. Also quite okay. So, and a lot of space here on the inside. So what we can see here already, that not much space overall is wasted. And overall, it's again here, by the way, putting on the lights. And then another space for your glasses. Overall, again, no revolution here in the interior, but everything gives us a solid impression. And the most important thing about this car is that it will work worldwide. And therefore, you also have to search for something that works worldwide. And I think here it definitely does. Of course, looking forward to your opinion in the comments, what you think about this new cleaned up interior. And now a short look at the illuminated instruments. We could find the key now for the ignition. That's how they look like when the ignition is turned on. And that means we also have the infotainment screen available here right now. So you can also scroll around a little bit, not in the as logical way as you would use this, for example, with a smartphone. I would rather use the button than here to zoom in and out. We're in Frankfurt here today at Kia Headquarters Europe. Radio button would be here, the shortcut, sound or volume here, but it's also possible at the steering wheel. Media would be, for example, if you would also put in a USB stick. There's also still an old school seek and track here for the radio available. Map would be direct hot link here to the screen again. Quite good overview. This one here is for your favorites. You could, for example, assign something with it. Also more about deals about that soon. And setup would be here, for example, Bluetooth telephone connection. So that is the first possibility. But also Wi-Fi hotspot, for example, to get some updates for the car. And you can also browse around it here like in a normal touch screen. And let's try, I'm not sure if it's working here right now, but let's just try. In the lower part, I'll plug in the phone now. Reading USB device. Yeah, there it is. Hey, so we also got my trance music on there. Yeah. Now we get a party here at the world premiere. Nice, and yeah, Michelle also likes that. Great. People from the outside already looking here. So that's it for the sound. The second possibility is then to have Apple CarPlay connected here. So you can also show it here. It appears also in this blue screen above there, so you can always see that. Let's just see if we can also find the Apple CarPlay screen. That would also be interesting, because we usually have assign a function to this button. Let's go maybe get back to the, a button to get back to the main menu. That would have been cool as well. There it is. So there's a split view also with music and the GPS, and then here we can click on Apple CarPlay. That's Rocco with everybody, and then there's the Apple CarPlay. First introduced here in the small car segment for Kia. You can go for the phone. Also works with Android Auto, and all of the time you can always go back to the Kia screen that you can also access the normal GPS. And the roof here above, first a sun cover, and then you can open it and enjoy the Kia headquarters rooftop atmosphere. Let's get in the rear and the seat as I had the seat. And that's really a surprise. In small car segment, I usually have problems with the knee space here in the front. Here it does work with my size, and even in some compact cars it doesn't work. So overall, I think this is the best result for this car yet, that it has, a very good package. I mean, it's just 4.07 meters long. Then also, as for the headroom, what is interesting, I said we had the small roof here, the glass roof mounted. Here it's not really that much space, but then if you continue on to the rear, the roof line from the inside, the ceiling raises a little bit, and that again offers me enough space. So I think again 119 meters will be the maximum, but so for me it does work, and it's also reasonable in the comfort here in the rear. Middle part here will also have a third seat, just like this, and also Isofix covers for child seats. And I'll take care about finding out if it's leatherette or leather, but I'm quite sure, already checked that cloth and leatherette options are available. If it's really animal skin, then only optional, of course. So, and flipping the seats, I would say we could do that from the trunk, but just one preview. Right here, you do it right up there, and then you can flip in a 1/3, 2/3 split. And then, that should be maybe fixed again here, but there it is already. Of course, very early pre-production cars here. Not everything has to be perfect, and we have that quite often at a lot of world premieres. And when a lot of people touch and look around the car, also stuff like those happens. Let's now check the trunk. And by the way, one last important detail, as it is sometimes missing in the small car segment, we also have handles right here, and that is good for holding tight, or of course just to get in and out the car. And they also thought about children with smartphones already here in the rear, because we have a USB charging device for the rear passengers. Maybe there's a surprise in the trunk, and there it is. It's a standard size for a small car. Kia themselves claim that they have a very good package. And let's look here. There's some more space below. I think this is not really properly mounted here at the moment. So you can remove that one. That one is possible. And then you can look underneath that. This is the place for a replacement tire. So there's enough space that you can put a full replacement tire in there. And let's now fix this one here properly, because the intention is that it's put above there. That's the way. So Autogefühl has to repair the trunk here. So that's the way. And the reason for that is, if you want to flip the seats, for example here, there's a 1/3, 2/3 split, like this. Oops. then you have an even loading transition to the front with this additional cover you have there. You see here, this one here I could also flip. I won't do it at the moment. And of course you can remove this upper cover here. Let's look beneath the hood. What will we have? Here there will be a 1.4 liter diesel, as we have here right now. And then there will also be offered 1.25 liter naturally aspirated petrol engine and a 1.4 liter naturally aspirated petrol engine. And newly introduced, here will also use the turbocharged petrol engines for this car, then for the highest trim levels and the biggest horsepower variant of this Kia Rio. And now Michael Cole joins us. He's Chief Operating Officer at Kia. And of course, I want to hear from you, what's the significance with the new Kia Niro? Also maybe taking a look at different markets. What do I want to do with this car now?
Okay, with the new Rio, this is our 4th generation Rio. We really, when we launched the 3rd generation car in 2011, we entered with a very competitive product into what is the biggest segment and probably the most hard-fought segment in the European market, and that's pretty much across all the markets in Europe. So with this car, we've gone the next step really, and I guess what we've been able to do is bring a car that has become much more dynamic in terms of its styling. It's a sportier, a more solid vehicle. So you know, with the design elements from the styling, we think we've got a car that will really appeal from an attractive point of view. And then on the interior of the car, we've improved all the quality. We've made it a more engaging cabin for the driver by angling the dash more into the driver of the vehicle. We've improved the whole look and feel of the vehicle inside to a more quality feel, which is really where we're aiming in terms of our, you know, brand positioning of being a design-driven, modern, innovative brand that offers great quality. And of course then adding the infotainment system, we've got the Kia connected services, as well as having compatibility for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So in this market you need to have a really strong proposition, and we think today, you know, for those consumers looking for a good looking car that offers good driving performance, that offers practicality, and of course very importantly now safety, we have a very strong proposition.
Talking about competitiveness, you mentioned it, this segment here has one of the lowest margins for each car. How can you still compete against, for example, strong German competitors?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is an aggressive market. It's a tough market. Clearly, we always look at our positioning in the marketplace, and then in terms of the margins, that's a situation we have to handle. You know, we can't change the cost structure. We obviously try and make sure that we still build the right quality into the vehicle, so we don't cut corners. We know that actually, you know, in this segment, and I think in all the segments now, you know, our position is to try and ensure that we're offering good, you know, good value, but high value. So, you know, the car has to have, you know, all the equipment, and we like to, you know, ensure that we have high levels of equipment in our product that will appeal to customers and make them see the value of the product. It's not about having a low price or being a cheap entry model. That's not what consumers want, to be honest, in any segment today.
Recently, the JD Power studies showed that you even overtook Porsche. Maybe you can tell us more about the reliability, and also what was your strategy to achieve that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess one of the things we're renowned for already in the market is our 7-year warranty, which we introduced to all our car lines in 2010. And that was a statement of how confident we were in quality and reliability of our product. So that's really been proven out by the results of this year's JD Power survey in the US, where we had the highest ranking of any brand in the initial quality study. So customers are saying, having taken ownership of their vehicle during that early period, you know, they were very satisfied with the quality and of course reliability of the car. We couldn't do a 7-year warranty if we didn't have high reliability. So we're very confident, you know, that we have good manufacturing. Quality is a key issue for us in terms of we don't release products for production. We don't start production till we've had sign off on quality. So it's a key element for us, you know, making the brand famous not only for great design but great quality.
Talking about engines and then sustainability. So for the one side, you will offer now also the turbo version. Yes. Maybe you can give us a horsepower range of what it will be the top version. And also what's maybe coming in the future, because you're massively investing also in hybrid vehicles. Will it also maybe play a role here in the future?
Okay, and for the Rio, we're carrying over 1.25 and 1.4 gasoline engines and a 1.4 diesel. But you're right, the important new addition to the lineup for the engines is our 3-cylinder 1-litre turbo GDI engine, a lightweight engine with better performance, and we offer that with 100 PS and 120 PS derivatives. So that's a really important, and we see those taking a bigger share than any of the other engines in terms of the mix for new Rio. We have no plans to introduce hybrid to this vehicle. We've obviously just in the last couple of months launched our dedicated hybrid Nero as the first sort of hybrid crossover. So today we maintain with the turbo gasoline direct injection, the gasoline and the diesel variants.
Thank you very much for the insight. And if you want to see the full review of the Kia Niro, that is of course also on Autogefühl. It will be linked in the video description. And of course, we will also soon be able to drive this one then. So let me sum up this all-new generation of the Kia Rio for you. You can easily mess it up with Kia Niro, Kia Rio. Kia Rio here, of course, small car segment car. First of all, the outer appearance, definitely a sportier design. Car is a little bit wider, looks even flatter, and together, especially with bigger rims and this red color here, definitely makes a more agile appearance in this segment, also with the longer hood. But nevertheless, the longer wheelbase had also some effect on the interior, because we had a very good package really in the interior of the car, especially in the rear seats. Even tall people could very well sit. Overall, the cockpit design has been cleaned up. There are also less buttons. The overall build quality is really good and solid. And new connectivity options, as we showed you, also with a smartphone mirroring. Engines, first of all, remaining the standard setup. Also naturally aspirated engine still, for the especially for the entry models, also good for the durability. And then now optionally with a powerful turbo engines. That will be very interesting to drive those ones then. And of course also a diesel engine, but that one won't play the biggest role, because in a small car you will also be just fine with the petrol engine. So I think we can be certain that they will continue the sales success, especially with those freshened up design and adapting the interior to the modern needs. Overall, it's not a real revolutionary car, but big selling cars, Often they're not really revolutionary, just refined in every small detail. Also to keep the existing customers, for example, not to screw them off. And I think overall they have presented a very solid package here for us today. I would like to hear your feedback on exterior and interior and on all of the functionality we've shown you, also with the additional interviews we've also presented to you. And I hope to see you at the driving part of this very vehicle. Will of course soon also follow on Autogefühl. And I hope you really enjoyed that we could give you this insight here that early here again with our world premiere coverages. Thank you very much for watching Autogefühl with Thomas. See you next time.